Hi, and welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series of how meditation changed my life. Make sure you watch part 1 if you haven't already. I will link it down below. There's also a full-length version of this video that I will link below as well. So meditation brought everything to the surface. Not everything at once, thankfully, because that would have been overwhelming, but little by little. Things that people had said or done to me to hurt me, events or emotions that had been suppressed since childhood or adolescence. You know, trauma. We all have this in one form or another. So as things arose, I would acknowledge it, sit with it, journal about it, and also forgive or ask forgiveness so that I could also release it. Some things I had to work on a little longer before I was able to let it go. Other things resolved quicker, and some things, even though they had hurt deeply and for a long time, didn't require any work at all. They sort of just came to the surface and popped. This process took about 2 or 3 years, and I know that sounds like a long time, but it wasn't all day, every day. It wasn't 24/7. It was little by little, and it felt very manageable. And although some of it was difficult, the process only brought relief, closure, and gratitude. I haven't had much bubble up for a while now. I feel healed and at peace for the most part. And I think it's also important to note, I don't dig or prod to find stuff to heal. Our lives are not about constantly healing stuff. It's more about loving, creating, cultivating, sharing, and enjoying. And so I do allow for stuff to bubble up on its own. And if it's not bubbling up, there's nothing for me to do, or I'm not ready for it yet. I have a lot of self-awareness and self-compassion now, which is another happy byproduct of the meditation practice. So should anything else arise, I feel very equipped to deal with it. I was able to heal everything on my own. In my experience, the meditation practice made it very possible and gentle. That may not be the case for everyone, so be discerning here. You know yourself best, and please seek assistance if it's starting to feel overwhelming to you. I am simply sharing my experience. The healing process also brought about self-love. As I was going through all these things, I started to feel compassion and empathy for myself, and also for little Linda, who had been feeling pain when she shouldn't have. I started to think that maybe I didn't need to be so hard on myself, and maybe I could actually try to love myself. That was really hard at first. I had been telling myself for as long as I can remember that I was not worthy of anything, and my traumas and past experiences were confirmation of that. I did a lot of mirror work here, and I still remember how difficult it was the first time I said I love you to my own image. I could barely say it because I didn't feel it. I mean, I could barely stand looking at myself. It's crazy to me now. So self-love was definitely a process as well. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. It unfolded organically, and it's unconditional and unwavering at this point. Meditation teaches unconditional love for all, and that includes ourselves. So there was no way around it. Then there's intuition, and this is the big one. I've always felt my intuition come through, but it's always very subtle. And for a long time, I was just ignoring it unless it was an emergency. So you can absolutely have a relationship with your intuition without having a meditation practice. It's there for all of us, no matter what. With meditation, however, my relationship with my intuition is stronger. And not only does it come through for me when I need it, although not always instantly, I'm now aligned with it, and I fully trust the guidance. It's not going to steer me wrong. This is the guidance we are all looking for. Intuition is good, loving, and it does no harm. It's the foundation for everything I do, and it's how I live my life now. I feel so supported, and it's from this space I'm leading my life. It's one of the reasons I'm sitting in front of you, telling you all this. Starting this channel is one of the things that have come to me in meditation. And because I'm living in alignment and committed to follow the guidance, I said yes when being called, and I have never felt more alive or free. My intuition that I perceive as welling up from here provides me with clarity and guidance. But I also have thoughts and ideas falling on my head from out of nowhere, and I perceive those as coming in from here, and that is different from my intuition. Sometimes things come through in my sitting meditations, but not most of the time, to be clear. Most of my sittings are uneventful in that respect. Most of the time, things come through out of the blue, like when I'm loading the dishwasher. But I'm inundated daily with creativity and ideas in a way that I've never experienced before, from here and here, because I'm present and I'm open. So meditation has melted away anger, triggers, brain fog, worries, and poor sleeping patterns. It has sharpened my mind, healed my heart, created self-love, and a strong relationship with my intuition. It's like all my good qualities have been enhanced, and my less desirable ones have diminished. I'm so grateful and filled with love because of all of it, and therefore my vibe is naturally high. So where do we go from here? I'll let you know in part 3.